This is the introduction to fights level 2. Welcome warriors to another video about fighting series. We already did something like introduction to fights, but it was mostly about talking about the unexpected punch. So we are starting, I already got hit or hit with a headbutt, so what is going to happen after that? So definitely check that video first. One of the biggest points that we were talking about in that video exact was that you shouldn't be accepting the fight. Because of the law consequences, you don't want to just take the fight head on and then end up in jail, or just the tactical solutions. I don't want to fight with him because I have pepper spray, so it's easier for me to take it out and spray him than to start fighting with him. It's not all that easy. So if we are talking about you shouldn't be accepting the fight and backing away, sometimes the situation starts so fast and he already starts striking that I first need to create my distance so I can even get to the pepper spray or the weapon that you carry. So what you need here is to kind of see the pattern of behavior of the attacker. What is he going to do? How is he going to start? What is he going to do in the first moments and then later in the fight, so you know what to actually prepare and defend for. So what is the classical behavior? It starts like you said in the first video. Most of the time it starts as the guy comes, they're both idiots, he pushes him to the head, for example, they go and they get into some kind of guard. They start like touching each other, like one strike, then it starts getting messy, so they start throwing very big strikes, so at some time they clinch and start grabbing the shirts, taking each other down because one wants to go for it. They fall down, now they fight here a little bit and they start getting away and the whole sequence starts again. This is kind of the same pattern. So push or something, little strikes, close, take down, get up and repeat. Something to acknowledge here that in most of the fights, it's not trained fighters. What many times happens is that when the person starts doing any combat sports, they leave it all in the gym, so they don't need to prove anything to themselves and they are more careful. If you are in a real self-defense, someone in the training stabs you many times, so the next time you are outside and someone starts screaming or being too arrogant, you're not going to be accepting the fight, but you will think, maybe he has a knife, maybe I should apologize, maybe I should just back away. And it doesn't even hurt their ego because they don't know that they don't need to prove absolutely anything. Here you can tell right away from the beginning if he is a trained fighter or is he not. Basically it's very simple from the movements. If you see that the movements are not fluid, they are like very in stretch, so something like this, he pulls his head down, gets his head out and is trying to intimidate, you probably know, and looks all like kind of monkey style, it's probably not a very trained fighter. And the exact opposite goes for the trained fighter. You see he's more loose, so he's not tensed up, he has his chin down and he has nice balance and he's moving very nicely in good rhythm. That should tell you, maybe this is not the fight for me to pick if you see how he moves. You can see it exactly the same when it comes to some instructional videos from self-defense instructors, because you see him do the technique and you're like, okay, but it doesn't really seem right. He's exactly the first type. It's not fluid, it's like stretchy and it looks just too bad for the camera, even in slow motion. There are similars between the aggressive person when it comes to him being a fighter and having a knife. So what you see when he has a knife, typical guy takes out the knife and it's not just going to be one strike but multiple ones. It's not just stay and stab and look. When it comes to the aggressive fighter, it's the same because there's many strikes coming. Even they are not coordinated, but they are coming a lot of them and very quickly right after each other. So as you know, like in the knife fighting, the left hand or the second hand is not going to be just by your side, but it will be doing something. It can do multiple things. It can start grabbing the hair and now stab. It can start clinch for me, or can start taking me like to some side headlock. It's basically going to do a lot of stuff. So what you need to understand here, that it's going to be like changing between he's striking and then starts grabbing and all the way here. It's like simple rhythm between fighting and wrestling, and it all changes frequently. And the third thing, which is very common, that it's going to be in like press. So he's going to be when punching and really taking me there. Really being the aggressor, pushing me, and the same goes for knife. He's not standing, he takes it out, he clinches, and now he's really pushing me, being the aggressor. When it comes to the fighting, the fists that are landing on your face are not the most clean punches, but even they can hurt you. So the whole and biggest problem with him pressuring is that when he's so aggressive pushing me forward, at any time I can fall because I trip or slip over something, or he is trying to take under my legs, and that's why we fall. Another thing here, which is the fourth one, is that many times what happens is that we are going to be falling, and with that we fall, then we get up, and we fall again, and we get up. So if you look at the whole situation, basically any sports train like all the things together. What you need to put there is the striking in the beginning to wrestling, but not only wrestling, but actually like grabbing of the clothes, because it's a bit different, to falling, to also getting up, and then again disengaging, engaging. When you have all of these parts, that's where it shines, but not even one sport actually does this. It's always like one discipline and one discipline, one discipline. You could be saying that the example of everything is mixed martial arts, so MMA, but even there, although they have the standing and the clinching and grappling on the ground, but what we are missing is the grabbing of the hair, how it makes it difficult. The same goes with the clothes, how much different it is. And then other things like size difference, so it's no longer the same weight, but he's like 30 kilograms on me. He has a weapon, maybe there are multiple attackers, so there are 2 or 3, or it's all happening in the dark, which is like, again, a complete difference. So even MMA is the closest, it's still very far from the spectrum of everything. This is basically the simple understanding on how the fights are going to look like. So yes, there's still the same advice. You shouldn't be accepting the fight, you should be backing away, having the hands up, but what can happen besides the perfect scenario where I go and you hit me and you go, which is perfect, but you need to be also ready for the second thing, where I just started hitting you and now you want to do the hamster, but you already didn't count with you doing hamster and me going down, and now you are surprised here and changing it all around. Because you know all the things that are going to be there, you are not going to be as surprised. So it's not just standing, it's not just wrestling, you need to understand it's all together, and it's pretty chaotic when it's happening, and it's very fast. We reached the end, so as in every single video, now it's up to you to share this video, even when it comes to the fighters. Maybe even they will start thinking differently about the training, or they're just getting to realization, okay, I do boxing, but I am missing this. This is the aspect I am not training at all. And maybe they start thinking differently, train differently, and change their mindset and save their life, which even you can be in an instance with. So thank you for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, leave a like and subscribe, because many more are coming. If you have any other ideas, leave the comment down, and we'll see you in the next